Let's do it! Well, folks, the original plan was to do a video on Dave Chappelle's newest Netflix special, Sticks and Stones. But I started typing and thought, what do I really say about this? And not in a bad way, mind you, it's just that it's not a typical story with characters and plot to talk about. It's a very funny guy on stage throwing punchlines at us. The only way I can think of to talk about it would be to give away every joke, and at that point I'm just parroting his special. The only outside topic of any note would be how much it's pissing off all the right people, and while that's funny, it's not enough to talk about for, 10 minutes, I suppose, what my usual videos are. That said, go check it out, it's funny as all mess, and now we're going to talk about the heartwarming tale of a young black man looking for his absentee father. So Detective Pikachu. It does a lot of things that I like just as a Pokemon story. I can also nitpick it to death, but that's largely irrelevant to the movie itself. We begin by meeting Tim, who swears he don't need no Pokemon, so you know in the next 15 minutes he's going to get one. Tim travels to Rhyme City, basically this progressive, PETA-ish Pokemon utopia. Unfortunately, young Tim here didn't like the Deadpool movie, so he figures he's just going to get some stuff from his dad's apartment and dip. This leads to a meeting with definitely not Ash's Pikachu, and the line my daughter quoted most from the movie.
So, Pikachu?
Oh, jeez.
Hey, little guy. How did you get in here?
I know you can't understand me, but put down the stapler or I will electrocute you.
From here on out, this becomes Ryan Reynolds' movie. Sure, there's more plot, a couple little twists, but your enjoyment of the movie will be entirely based on whether or not Ryan Reynolds does it for you in this movie. I thought he was hilarious. I got kind of a SpongeBob vibe from it all. Like, Pikachu was there for the adults, strange as that comes off. Kids will like it because it's Pikachu and, oh my god, it's Pokemon, and adults will like it because he's making funny comments about burning someone alive. So really, you could stop watching here, and if you're a fan of Deadpool, you'll probably enjoy this Pikachu. For those who want to stick around, let's continue. Some snooping around involving a purple vial of Pokemon cocaine leads Tim and Pikachu to a nightclub where they hold illegal Pokemon battles. You remember Pokemon battles, right? Those things that make up one of the two central pillars of gameplay the source material games are based on? Yeah, those aren't allowed in Rhyme City. Kinda makes me wonder if the inhabitants of Rhyme City like to throw Pokemon blood on people in other regions wearing fur. Anyway, a bit more comedy happens and the police chief swears there's absolutely no way Tim's dad is alive, so he needs to stop his shenanigans. Tim shares a tender moment with Pikachu that gets cut short by an interruption from slightly less paralyzed Stephen Hawking.
Whoa, a Flareon.
Imagine being able to evolve into the best possible version of yourself.
Really? Flareon is the best possible evolution? That thing has been garbage tier since Red and Blue. You could have at least got Vaporeon, being a bulky water and all. Okay, so the old guy throws his son under the bus as the big baddie, and directs Tim to some plot facility, and he brings Lucy along for shits and giggles. So the evil-looking research facility is doing evil things with Pokemon by using Mewtwo to make the purple cocaine gas stuff. There's a big escape sequence and, oh no, Pikachu gets hurt.
Up here, Dewey.
This little rock takes out Pikachu? Now, I am fully aware that a nice, well-placed chunk of earth can take a person or animal down, but come on! It looked like someone offstage underhanded a stress relief ball into someone with the same lack of enthusiasm I showed at PTA meetings. Well, anyway, Tim shows why he's a failure of a Pokemon trainer as he didn't pack any potions or revives and has to rely on a bunch of Pokemon to take him on this little spirit quest through the woods to find Mewtwo. Mewtwo heals Pikachu and advances the plot before getting captured by the bad guy. Pikachu leaves Tim, but don't worry, even my 10-year-old daughter knew this wasn't going to last long. Things begin to wrap up, and Pikachu finds something fishy with what supposedly happened to Tim's dad. Unfortunately for Pikachu, Tim already tried to prevent the master scheme, only to find out that the bad guy pulling all the strings was the rich old white guy the entire time.
Well, imagine my shock.
We conclude things with a pretty decent action scene, and Ryan Reynolds is human again. Hooray! Anyway, it's like I said, past a certain age, you're watching this more so for Ryan Reynolds than the Saturday morning evil villain trying to merge people and Pokemon together for some reason. I know there's a lot of critics out there roasting this for the stupid story and such, but y'all, it's a kid's movie. I give these movies a pass, as long as they're not too horrifically dumb. Could I tell what was happening? Yes. Could I follow plots and motivations regardless how dumb I thought the bad guy's master plan was? Yes. That said, I want to go down a brief list of little tiny inconsequential things I liked and didn't like. For the likes, I really enjoy that we see there are other professions in the Pokemon world besides just trainer. Tim is basically one of the random people on the routes between cities that you try to avoid awkward eye contact with in the games. I love all the little background details too. Just about every scene has some degree of blink and you'll miss it references. Even though they were being naughty, I also liked seeing the Pokemon battles, and more so I liked how the story wasn't about trying to be the champion. You couldn't pack 8 gym badges and the Elite Four in a satisfying way into one movie, so I'm glad they didn't try. By not doing that and focusing on everyday lives, they also vastly expanded the game's universe. The main thing that irked me about the movie was the Pokemon saying their names. I'm not a fan of this. I don't like the anime, and it's worse when some Pokemon sound like animals, but if you're a main character's Pokemon, you're smart enough to say your name. It bothers me. I don't like it. It makes them less like animals and more... I don't even know, just something weird. There's also like 5 different accents in this one city, which is supposed to be essentially its own region. Now, I know major cities can have a wide and diverse population, but it's just kind of weird knowing each region in a Pokemon game was supposed to be based on a real-world locale, and the citizens in the games tend to have a uniform dialect with little exceptions here and there of people who are specified to be foreigners. Oh, that reminds me. Hey, Hollywood, this movie is how you do diversity. By not even mentioning it. Was this movie written by a bunch of pink-haired Tumblerinas? Oh, most definitely. The white male with capitalism and patriarchy written on his forehead is still the big bad guy. But it seems like they were at least smart enough to not make a big deal about Tim being, I don't know, like the only black Pokemon detective and how he's oppressed for that or some BS. The Skittles bag of skin colors is just there, and it's not brought any cringe-inducing attention. It's decent enough. No, I mean, I don't know if you can tell back there. I'm a pretty big Pokemon fan, so I would have seen it either way, you know. So I'm just pleasantly surprised that it wasn't a total dumpster fire, because video game movies do not have the best track record. But yeah, as always, if you watch my videos and you tend to think along the same lines I do, well, I liked it, and I think you might like it. That being said, y'all have a wonderful day.